visit our back table. Without further ado, let's hear it for Brandon and Bruce.
My story started in Detroit, then we moved out to the burbs. Revival Tabernacle till I'm 7, that's my church. Pastor Tim Delina, that's the man that got the word. How could I have known I wear my trauma like a shirt? When I turned 15, them CPS is in the mix. I told my sister we need them bills paid, case get dismissed. Why you think I told myself I gotta get us rich? Why there's all these problems that the money can't fix? It was really 15, that's when the devil had my life. Remember laying on my bed contemplating suicide. But I couldn't tell the truth to my mama, so I lied. But I think she knew it too, cause you could see it in my eyes. Man, I'm so tired, and I don't wanna live this life. So I pull up on this girl, she's staying on the other side. The sun fell down, and then we smoking, getting high. I said this won't be every day, but that was just another lie. So that's really when it changed, because I couldn't seem to stop. Things I said I'd never do, I started to do without a thought. Paranoid, running from police and changing spots. Hold up, isn't he a Christian? I guess not. They told me if you flip this sack, then you could really make a stack. When I turned 17, my brother taught me how to trap. I should have told him no, but it happened so fast. Man, I wish I stayed focused, meditating on this rap. Student council president, 5th grade. 19 years, they do a drug raid. The oranges on the counter right in they face. I don't know how they ain't see it, guess I got grace. But the problem with it was, thing that happened right before, I had my gun pointed at them when they came in through the door. I ain't hear them say police, but I'm thanking the Lord. I'm so blessed that they ain't shoot and spill my body on the floor. Man, it's shame drive addiction like a tour bus. I can't even feel it, medicate to get a rush. I got all these wounds that I've been trying to cover up. Man, I'm wishing I could stop. I'm fixing trauma with a cup.
Let me tell you about my story. It's steeped in deep history and never bound to his story. You see, as I exited my mother's womb, I'm sure the room was filled with hope and promise. As a single mother of 5 would pause for the cause of celebrating the newest arrival, and that new arrival was me. Back then, no one could see that my mother would die when I was 3, which brought about this inner pain and the thoughts of, why would she abandon me? My grandmother would then step in. She tried to guide me daily to avoid a life of sin, but turmoil still raged within. You see, I grew up in the hood, but my Christian grandmother made sure that the hood was not in me. I was the kid that other kids in the hood would envy. But I dropped out of college and began to pursue street knowledge. I was introduced to the school of hard knocks. I hit the block selling weed and rocks. I was chasing money nonstop, blinded by the greed. Gotta get the paper, gotta get the guap. You see, in telling my story, I would really rather not use this form. But in order to get the message across, sometimes you gotta break the norm. You see, I went from seller to user. It's kind of hard to explain, but as a child, I never thought that I would experience such pain. I went from smoking crack to taking heroin in the Lord's name in vain. You see, I found myself trapped, but I never knew it. I wanted to break free, but I couldn't do it. My mind, body, and soul was in bondage. The drug, I had to pursue it. You see, as an addict, eventually you're going to lose that job. In church, that's not good for everyone else because you might get robbed. You see, I had a $500 a day habit, and it still had to get fed. And like a heart attack patient, I had to have my meds. And I never ruled out the fact that I just might crack some heads. You see, if I didn't have my drugs, well, I might as well be dead. You see, it demanded everything from me. It took everything from me. Nothing was sacred. Nothing was safe. The love I once knew as a child in my heart, it was all erased. Gone was my job. Gone was the marriage. Gone was my cars. Gone was the home. Gone was my family. All in one lifetime. Gone. Gone. As I exited my mother's womb, I'm sure the room was filled with hope and promise. But all that's left of that child is an imposter. Someone took that child, and all they left was a monster.
But that's not the end, and I bet you probably knew that. It says, at the perfect time, Christ died for all of us. He could have came today and got the needle or a gun, but he wanted us to see a demonstration of his love, crucifixion on a tree where he hanging losing blood. See, Jesus changed my heart. Now he's what everything's about. My thoughts and my patterns, my actions in my mouth. I know that he loves me. I don't ever have to doubt. I started from the muck and mire. Jesus took me out. So I'm thankful that I struggled and he let me survive. My love is so much stronger with this thorn in my side. Everything isn't perfect, tell the truth, I won't lie. But I'm trusting in my God, so this is where I reside. And if this is my struggle compared to the alternative, man, you know I'm blessed, because I ain't never even heard of this. Miracles occur, you give them everything to work with. The rich young ruler couldn't do it, misses purpose. So that's my God, and he protect me with his mighty arm. He got me covered way better than Jake from State Farm. This ain't no big bang, it's just a big God. And Mr. PT wrote it, but I did not. It's so many times I wasn't faithful, but he never stopped. I would not be shaken, built my house upon the rock. So my heart catch on fire when I think of what he's done. And I'm thinking way back just to see how far I come. Not through my own strength, but through the risen one. That's my father, call him Abba, and he called me his son.
My story would be a sad tragedy without the one who paid the cost. Who would have thought that 2,000 years ago, Jesus would have me in view from the cross? You see, I pulled back the veil of my life and I painted a picture so you could truly see me. I did that so you would understand this, that Jesus didn't leave me. You see, my life is no longer held captive in the throes of addiction. My story is real life. No movies, no fiction. But today I'm free. And like the children of Israel, no more shackles on my feet. I'm free to wear new shoes. And my aim is to walk godly. It's time to spread the good news. You see, in order for me to live, Jesus chose to die. To satisfy God's wrath for my sins. That's the reason why. You see, without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission of sin. No grace, no mercy, no Holy Spirit to dwell within. You see, my mind is a garden and my thoughts are the seeds. I can choose to grow flowers or I can choose to grow weeds. But today I choose to fight this battle down on bended knees. You see, Jesus is my refuge in the midst of despair. He is a solid rock on which I stand when no one seems to care. I no longer give in to brokenness, nor do I succumb to worldly schemes. Today I walk in victory. My life has been redeemed.